During the summer of 1956, famous American novelist Jack Kerouac spent 63 days at a U.S. Forest Service fire lookout in the Cascade Mountains of Washington state. And of his time there, he wrote, "Now I was beginning to see the Cascades on the northeast horizon, unbelievable jags of twisted rock and snow-covered immensities, enough to make you gulp." For me personally, I find those words echoing in my head each and every time I discover a new fire lookout on the map. When I do, the call to explore becomes too great to ignore. In my head, the same question plays over and over again. I wonder what it looks like up there, until it soon becomes an irresistible adventure, and I must go. So, go we shall.
Whoa. Nothing like a little pinstripey road to know you're out looking for a campsite in the Northwest. That's for sure.
So after checking out 3 spots, we're going back to the first.
Do you know what it reminds me of? When I would go shopping as a kid with my mom was like a shopaholic. And we would go to the first shoe store and I'd be like, okay, I want this pair of shoes. And my mom would be like, okay, but we need to look at all the other stores first before you buy that pair of shoes so you know that's the one you're gonna get. We went to the first campsite that we went to, and I was like, this is a pretty good campsite. And Christine's like, we could do better. So we've been spending the last hour and a half driving around looking for a better campsite. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. This time, it didn't. And we got to head back to our spot that we went to the first time. So we're buying the first pair of shoes, just like I always did as a kid. See, I told you, Ma.
While our primary objective on this trip was to see if we could reach a fire lookout that I had been obsessing over since spotting it months ago while scouring maps, we couldn't pass up the opportunity to camp during a rare 80-degree day in September. And so we settled on a campsite that put us within striking distance of the fire lookout, which we would attempt to explore tomorrow morning. And if the views from our campsite were any indication, tomorrow was shaping up to be something special. That is, if we could even access the fire lookout, which was a total unknown. But that would be a challenge for tomorrow. For the remainder of today, our only goal would be to soak up the sun and enjoy what was sure to be one of the last warm and sunny days of the year in the Pacific Northwest.
Hey, Christine.
Huh.
Check out what I found.
What'd you find?
Somebody left this super cool little note here that they carved into some wood. You read it?
We left this place as good as we could. Can you leave it better?
That is a cool message. I love seeing that. And this campsite is pristine. There's no junk here. And I'm sure that there was and somebody cleaned it up. So just a little public service announcement. This is the type of message that we should be spreading when we're out dispersed camping. And then, of course, what did somebody do to it? As per usual.
So you probably noticed that we're making dinner in a totally new way. We are making dinner in the Instapot this evening because we have a power station that is strong enough to power an Instapot. So I've never done this before. I've always wanted to try. So tonight I'm making a riff on beef stroganoff. So fingers crossed this turns out great. We'll see. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if this works. Ooh, it smells good.
Looks like something I want to eat.
As luck would have it, dinner was ready just in time for us to sit down and watch Mount Rainier light up, glowing in vibrant tones of pinks and reds. This atmospheric phenomenon is known as alpenglow, and when conditions are just right, it can turn an already stunning peak into something seemingly out of a fairy tale.
Good morning from about 4,000 feet up in the Cascades, and we were greeted with an incredible sunrise view of Mount Rainier, probably the best sunrise view of Mount Rainier that we've had all year. There is not a cloud in the sky, and today is going to be beautiful, which is perfect because our plan for today, once we break down camp, is to head to a fire lookout that I've wanted to check out for quite some time. And today we're going to drive up there after we break down camp and see what the views are like from up at the top. So anyway, we're just enjoying these beautiful views of Rainier, and I am enjoying my one button press coffee, probably the laziest way to make coffee. As you saw, I made coffee on the Keurig this morning, and it's really just a continuation of the experiment of can Christine and I cook and use different household appliances while we're out here now that we have this larger battery. And the Keurig coffee, it worked out great. It drew a ton of power. Literally, I was watching the percentage on the Blue Eddy from the app just drop like a rock. And now I think we've worn the power station down to like 22%. So I would say we've had mixed results. It worked with the Instant Pot, it worked with the Keurig, it powered both, no problem, but man, does it suck a lot of battery. So I would say it looks like it's viable for what we're doing on this trip, which is like a one-nighter, or to use an Instant Pot for a night, but it is going to drain a lot of battery, just the reality of how much those things draw. So is it a long-term solution? I don't know about that, but is it something we could break out on occasion? Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the easiest coffee I have ever made at camp, and then we're gonna break down, and then we're gonna head to this fire lookout, and we'll see what the views are like from up at the top. All right, so our quest to get to the fire lookout has led to a hike, apparently, because in front of us is a locked gate, and it looks like that gate is locked anytime that the fire lookout is not staffed. But there is a trail right here that takes us to the lookout, so hopefully it's not too far. We didn't really come for a hike here this morning, did we? No, but I think it's pretty short. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully it's not straight up, but we'll see.
All right, we're like 20 yards into this hike, and I think it's gonna be all uphill. Actually, like straight up. All right, Hefe. A short hike. It's a short hike.
Well, I mean, it is a
Switchbacks.
short hike. It's just a straight up short hike.
Switchbacks. I hate switchbacks.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Well, we're just about at the top, and if it seems like I'm a little bit out of breath, it's because this hike gains a lot of elevation really quickly. But I can see the lookout tower just popped into view. Check this out. There it is, right there. Hopefully we can get up there and get on the deck and check it out. So let's see, looks like this is the road that would come up if the gate wasn't locked, but we made it.
This fire lookout was originally constructed in 1932, with all supplies being brought up to the lookout either by backpack or mules, as no road to the lookout existed until 1956. The lookout also served as an aircraft warning site during World War II, and as we soaked in the views from the deck, it was easy to see why this spot was chosen for a lookout, as the views seemed to go on for dozens of miles in every direction.
So I'm not gonna lie, when we started this hike, I was a little upset with Jeff because I was not mentally prepared for a hike. So as we were hiking up here, I kept thinking to myself, it better be worth it. And let me tell you, now that we're up here at this fire lookout station, the views here are amazing. And while the fire lookout station is closed, doors locked, there's no one here, it's not staffed, you can still look into it, and I actually think it's pretty cool to see just what the sleeping arrangements look like and what the station looks like when someone is actually working up here. And yeah, I'm really glad that we ended up coming up here. Like I said, the views are amazing, and to have this lookout station all to ourselves is totally worth the hike up here.
Oh man, these views from the top of this lookout are absolutely incredible. Possibly my favorite views in the Washington Cascades. It's probably between this and Hart's Pass for my two favorite views. And so the drive up here is totally worth it. You should definitely come and check out Suntop Lookout. It's an easy drive to get up here. You could do it in any car, two-wheel drive. It really wouldn't matter. And the hike, as we have mentioned, is a little bit steep if the gate is locked, but it's not that long. It's just straight up. But the views, as Christine mentioned, are totally worth it. And I think that that is going to do it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. And if you are interested in checking out more videos of us exploring around the Pacific Northwest, maybe getting inspired to get out and explore places like this, then be sure to check out this playlist next, because we've got a ton more videos of Christine and I exploring and adventuring around the Pacific Northwest. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.